I'm running a little late, but I'm going to call this meeting to order at 6:04. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Please remain standing for the invocation led by Mr. Jim Triplett. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Father in heaven, we come to you today. We thank you, Father, for all of our many blessings. Father, we thank you for our city, our community, the way that you continually to bless us each and every day. And Father, as our mayor and council convene to conduct your business tonight, we ask you to grant them wisdom and guidance, that everything that's said and done in this meeting would be acceptable and pleasing to you. Father, we pray for our country, Lord, who's under threat of bad weather with a hurricane. We ask you, Lord, to protect their life, their property. We ask you to bless their preparations, God, this week as they get ready for the storm. Father, we lift these things up to you. We ask these things in Christ's name. Amen. Libby, can you hear this? Okay.
This brings us into item number 4 on our agenda, citizens' comments. Is there anyone here that'd like to address the council at this time? If you would like to, if you just come to the front podium, state your name and your address for the record, and we'll listen.
Hi, I'm Linnell Holland. I live in Whitesburg, not in Carrollton, but I'm in Carrollton a whole lot more than anywhere else. I addressed the council and the mayor last meeting, and I just wanted to come back tonight and ask, really, on the issues that so many of us spoke about at the last meeting. Has anything been done within your group to kind of make a change with things? I know I continue to see some things on social media that are very derogatory toward one of our council members that is doing a fantastic job, a member that has done so much for this city, not only in his ward, but throughout Carrollton. So I just wanted to come back and say, I love Carrollton. I appreciate the job y'all do. I know most of the people that are in positions of working for the city here, and I know people love working here and being part of this great city, but I just wanted to come back and speak because there were so many of us at the last meeting that came up and said that to stop the kinds of comments and things about bigotry and racism and all that that's been going around. We all need to come together and work together, and not just in Carrollton, it's across our world today, but especially here where we all do care about the same issues and the same wonderful city. So that's all I wanted to say tonight. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Holland. Anybody else? Seeing no one, we will move ahead. Item number 5, the minutes. Has anybody had a chance to read through, and we'll make a motion one way or the other?
I move we approve the minutes as presented, Mayor Hollingsworth.
Well, you have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carries. Mayor and council announcements. Gerald, you want to start us off?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I would like to thank Jimmy Bearden and the entire city staff, the city manager, and certainly the city mayor and council for the new firehouse on Loving Road in Carrollton near the University of West Georgia. It is absolutely immaculate. I'm really excited about the possibilities and the future of having a brand new firehouse in that area. We had a grand opening. Rory and I split and Mayor Hollingsworth. What was it called, Rory? We uncoupled the hose out there the other day, and it was a lot of fun. Great crowd showed up, and I'm just certainly proud of that. I would also like to thank, oh, wow. Good to see you. I would also like to thank Main Street. Is she here? Well, Erica's here, but Okay. Well, I would like to thank you, Erica, and Andy, and her staff for showing the Black Panther the other night. Disney's The Black Panther was wonderful. We had a pretty good crowd show up for it, even though it was a football night. It was still a great time just watching the movie outside. And also this past Saturday, we had Who's Bad with Michael Jackson. That was fun. I saw Tim there dancing. And he did moonwalk. It was a lot of fun. So Tim and everybody involved in that, thank you for that. It was packed out, probably more than I've seen in a long, long time. Also, I'd like to remind all of our citizens, if you please, do your best to keep our food pantries filled all around the city. There's one just about on every block now. There's new ones at the soup kitchen. And we're going to plant the community garden soon, so stay tuned for all the details on the community garden. We need all the help we can get to plant those winter crops. That's all I have.
Mr. Mayor, if I may have an additional minute, I think I need 4 minutes to make my statement. I would like at this time to recognize and personally thank the Carrollton Police Department for their actions that occurred on the early morning of Friday, August 31st, on the Carrollton Square in front of the Irish Pub and Plates restaurants. After personally reviewing the police incident reports and watching the police officers' body cameras, I came away with two feelings: disgust in how some of the crowd acted, but proud of how our police officers performed. What I viewed on the police officers' body cameras was a professional police force controlling their own temperaments and exercising restraint, when most others placed in that situation would have acted vastly different and probably overreacted. Their actions on August 31st were nothing short of exemplary. Anyone who watches the videos will see our officers only arrest those individuals that were obviously in violation of the law. When the police asked the crowd to disperse, they did it with politeness and respect. Further, they were in total control of the crowd. Now, on the other hand, the actions of certain individuals disgusted and, quite frankly, frightened me. It is true that there are some individuals that acted with respect and deference to our officers. They followed the instructions of the Carrollton Police. However, there are others, unfortunately, quite a few others, that acted in a rebellious manner. One citizen told me last week that it's a shame that we appear to live in a time when a group of citizens no longer have respect for authority, but demand those who have authority to prove they deserve to be an authority. There is a large group of young adults who refuse to follow the instruction of our officers. They were antagonistic and confrontational with our police officers. Some yelled obscenities and profane language at the officers. Others pushed or punched the officers. When some individuals were arrested, they would continue to resist. Due to their resistance, it would take 2 to 3 officers to place handcuffs on them. One incident report authored by a Carrollton police officer states the following: there were multiple times when the crowds surrounded officers as we placed people under arrest, and there were multiple times officers actively had to push people back from becoming involved in the altercations. Another incident report stated, I saw a male trying to push his way to the front of the crowd in a violent way in my direction. Further, another incident report reads, as police officers began to arrest the defendant, he resisted to the point in which officers had to take him to the ground to effect the arrest. As they did this, approximately 20 people rushed the police and cornered them. 11 individuals were arrested on August 31st, charged with crimes from public drunkenness to obstructions of a police officer. A statement that I'm very offended by is one that states this was nothing but a bunch of drunk college kids. First, I do not doubt they're intoxicated. Second, I do not know if these individuals are in college. But third, I do know they're not kids. The individuals arrested ranged in ages 21 to 23. Just a few months ago, many young people the same age graduated from our military academies and universities. They are commissioned as officers in our armed forces, where they will be in charge of millions of dollars worth of equipment and soldiers. The individuals on the square are not kids. We as a society expect 21, 22, and 23-year-olds not to act as kids, but as adults. If someone attempts to characterize this as an unfortunate incident caused by misunderstanding of the police and drunken college kids, that is a lie of what transpired on August 31st. Again, as a resident of Carrollton and the city council member, I applaud the Carrollton Police Department and wish to thank the police chief and the officers for what you all did on the early morning of August 31st. Hopefully, we as a community will never have to experience an episode like that again.
Thanks, sir. Roy, you're good? I think I'm good, too. I just want to echo the same, Matt. I I've viewed stuff, and I'm still in awe about what's going on. And I think Friday night was pretty bad, from what I was told by some of the citizens. I'm just in awe. I just don't know what's going to happen nowadays. Thank you for Jimmy, your group out there at the fire station. Y'all had it all cleaned up, ready to go, and it was all good. Libby, thank you for the food and festivities and everybody that showed up. We had a good time. If you get a chance, stop in. The guys will always be glad to see you if you show up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've got a happy note and then a sad one I want to mention. The happy note is Joel Richards is a grandfather. And they named her after him, Jolie, but they spelled it Joelie. So I think that says a lot for that grandfather, and he'll be great. He looks so mighty young to be a grandfather to me, but I do think he's got relations from Alabama, so it may have something to do with it. Several months ago, we hired the Archer Group to do a salary study for us, and the gentleman we were dealing with was a gentleman named Chip King, and he died of a heart attack last Tuesday. 48 years old, left 5 kids. So just wanted you to know that. Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, it gets down to number 8, approval of agenda items for consideration.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda items.
I would like to address one thing before we do that. Thank you, Rory. You want to withdraw that just a second, or you just want to let it stand? Inadvertently, we missed an agenda item that should have been placed on here from last month. It was my suggestion that we just not amend the agenda and just carry it forward to October. So we have plenty of time for publication and anybody to voice their opinion about it and make sure they were here. Didn't want to be untransparent, as we like to say, about the salary and the raises that were being proposed back in August. So we're just going to leave that stricken from the agenda tonight. Make sure everybody's got plenty of time to come and be part of that. Now, can I have a first and a second for the agenda be approved as stated here? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Oh, proclamation, Public Safety Appreciation Day. Who do I need to call up for that then?
Really, I guess our two chiefs, if they're here.
Our two chiefs here, or?
Anybody with public
safety?
Y'all can stand, yeah.
If I may we ask if there's any retired public safety people in the crowd as well, if they could come up? Is that appropriate?
Sure.
Okay, good.
Thank you, gentlemen, for showing up. Whereas the city of Carrollton is served daily by first responders, including firefighters, law enforcement officers, E911 personnel, emergency medical services personnel, and other public safety employees who have dedicated themselves to the protection of the lives and property of our citizens. And whereas it is through their courage and commitment that many of our fundamental liberties and our personal safety are secured, and whereas in rendering essential public services, professionally and selflessly, this great city's public safety employees help to ensure an orderly society and enhance the citizens' sense of security. And whereas, in the place and well-being of society above personal concerns, and in some instances, risking their lives for the sake of others, public safety employees exemplify the highest nobility and commitment to duty. Now, therefore, the City of Carrollton, Mayor and Council do hereby proclaim September 10th, 2018, and every second Friday in September thereafter as Public Safety Appreciation Day in Carrollton in recognition of the valuable public service performed by the dedicated public safety employees of the City of Carrollton, and do urge all citizens to show their appreciation for our brave public safety employees. In witness hereof, I have unset my hand, caused the seal of the City of Carrollton to be affixed to this 10th day of September 2018. And in lieu of what happened the other night, guys, my hats go off to all y'all. Thank you very much.
What happens every night.
Y'all come back up and let's get a picture with y'all on the council.
No, no, thank you.
I'm so short. I'm as high as it'll go. When she forwards it to me, I'll forward it to you later.
Ms. Studdard, rezoning 218 Mandeville Avenue. Oh, you are here. Sorry.
Thank you. The Planning Commission met in August for a rezoning request to rezone 218 Mandeville Avenue from R20, which is single-family residential, to C3, which is neighborhood commercial. The Planning Commission made this recommendation with the following conditions: that the architecture of the house must remain compatible with the residential nature of the neighborhood, that wall signs are not allowed, and a freestanding sign must be architecturally similar to the home and must be proportionally sized to the home with a height not to exceed 8 feet. The home must be brought up to commercial building code standards, and any site improvements must meet current UDO standards, such as parking. The applicant shall make every effort not to remove any trees while developing the parking area in the rear. Any trees that are removed must be replaced utilizing Section 4.07.07 tree protection of the Unified Development Ordinance. And the property is limited to the institutional use of semi-public hall, club, or lodge. All other institutional or commercial uses are not permissible. This particular request is in direct conjunction with the transition of this property to the facility called the Hour Club. It's currently located on Old City Hall Avenue. I believe that the petitioner is here to answer any questions. This is the Alcoholics Anonymous, is where one of the AA groups meets. They are losing their location on Old City Hall Avenue, and this is a new location for them, and that's why we limited it to just that particular use. The Planning Commission reviewed this request, and they made a motion unanimously 7-0 to approve the request with those conditions.
Is anyone here that would like to speak for or against this rezone? Seeing no one, gentlemen, anybody up here have any questions? Anybody ready to vote? All in favor? Need a motion.
So moved.
Got a motion from Gerald?
And the motion is to accept the Planning Commission's recommendation.
I move we accept the Planning Commission's recommendation as presented.
Have a motion. Have a second. Thank you, gentlemen. Any more discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you very much, sir. Erica, before you get started on the second one,
Yes, sir.
I need to recuse myself on that one, so.
Okay.
He's kind of employed by me, so.
That's fine.
All right, the second rezoning item on your agenda is a rezoning request from R20, single-family residential with 20,000 square foot lot minimums, to R10, single-family residential with 10,000 square foot lot minimums. This particular request is located at 401 Adamson Avenue. The request does not include any proposed new development. The property currently has 2 single-family homes on it. They have recently been renovated. They would like to subdivide the tract so that they can sell those, giving those 2 particular homes a chance at being owner-occupied. The Planning Commission reviewed this request at their August meeting, and they voted unanimously to approve it, 7-0.
Anyone here want to speak for or against? Have a motion we adopt? Yeah, I'm making a motion that we adopt. Yeah. I have a motion and a sec. Well, I can't do that. I
I was
recuse.
like, what's going on?
I can't do that.
You make a motion, I'll second.
I make a motion that we adopt number 3, rezoning 401 Addison Avenue from R20 to R10.
And I second that.
And just so we're clear, because the planning commission recommendation included, no, there are no conditions on this one, right? Okay, sorry.
Any discussion? Go ahead and vote. How y'all feel? Motion passed. Thank you, gentlemen. Special use permit, Ms. Studdard.
The final zoning item on your agenda is a special use permit request at 125 and 157 Beulah Church Road. That's an existing multifamily development. The petitioner is requesting to increase the allowable density from 6 units per acre to 9 units per acre to construct 3 more buildings, which is a total of 24 units. The Planning Commission voted to recommend approval of this special use request at their August meeting with the following conditions. A landscape buffer with tree coverage should be planted between the single-family residence on 157 Beulah Church Road and the new development, similar to the existing buffer on 125 Beulah Church Road. The development must adhere to the current UDO standards, including siding material, landscaping, open space, and amenity, which are and playground requirements. 3, the site, erosion, and landscape plan view and approval will be required prior to the issuance of grading permit for the remaining infrastructure. And water and tap fees are subject to the current fee schedule and are required to be paid upon approval of the building permit. The Planning Commission reviewed this request, and they made a unanimous decision to recommend approval, 7-0. I do believe the petitioner is here as well, if you have questions.
Erica, did you say playground requirements?
Yes, the amenities.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there's not a playground there now, right?
No, there's currently not a playground there.
Or you guys are gonna build a playground? You are, okay, good.
Would you like to come up to the podium and anybody want to speak in favor of this or opposed?
I'm Bob Dean, and I want to speak in favor of it. This is a development we started in '04, and we had worked on it for a couple of years. We had invested at that time of $500,000 or $600,000 in buying the property and getting it engineered and putting in the infrastructure, all of which has been put in, water, sewer, and storm, and all done. And we got shut down by the recession, and then the recession went on, and then we had a moratorium. So we're just excited to possibly have an opportunity to finish it. All the engineering has been done. I think the city has it. And at that time it was approved, and we actually, I think we bought a building permit, but we didn't get to do the construction. So we're excited about that, and we think the finishing out of that project, which would just add 24 units of what would just be working family housing. It's in a good location, and I think there's a good need for that kind of housing, and I think it'd be better for the city to have it. We have a vacant lot there that we're paying, I don't know, $500-600, I don't know what, a year on it. But if we build the apartments, we know we'll be paying a lot more, but we'd be glad to pay them. So we think it would be help everyone. The people need the housing. We'd like to build them, and I think it'd be good for the city to put something on that lot. It sits down in there where it's inside the other development, and you really can hardly see it from the road or anything. So we're excited about it, and we hope we can build it, and we ask for your approval.
I want to ask you, that residence, we had a map up here. I am familiar with your complex. It's near me. But those two residences, you're going to demolish those, are you? Like the one with the brown roof and one?
No.
The brown roof's not your property, right?
There's two brick buildings right there. One of them's kind of a white brick, and the other's a red brick.
Yes, sir.
They're on the property.
Will they stay?
Yes.
Okay, I wondered about that.
Yeah, we manage them. They're rental properties.
It's a very nice, very well-kept apartment complex, and I
Very
thank you
much.
for that. Yes, sir.
Anybody else got any questions, Mr. Dean?
Is there any sidewalks on the front of any of that property?
There's none in that area at all.
Okay.
No.
It's almost county on that side, just about, but no, there's nothing there.
There's two apartment complexes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's no plan to build any sidewalks on the frontage of this property, is that correct?
No, because it wouldn't go anywhere, and it wouldn't serve the project, really.
Right. But from you to, we had talked before about Old Bremen Road sidewalks. It would be neat to eventually maybe run sidewalks from you to the Wood Glen, and then to Beulah Church, then to the retail establishment out there, and tie those other neighborhoods into it as well, because they have been asking for sidewalks in that area for a long time.
Would it kill a deal if you had to run it along your frontage at least? That would let us
I
connect.
think we'd be receptive to run it on our frontage.
If you'd run it on your frontage, I think that would help us toward this overall goal.
Okay.
Could we make that a
I was
condition
about to say, we
of
need to
zoning?
tie that in.
How many rooms are in the apartments per apartment?
They're all 2-bedroom, 2-bath. They got 1,003 square feet,
How many square feet?
1,003 in each unit.
What's your range of rents?
The rent,
Yes, sir, your range of rents. You don't have to tell me exactly.
oh, they're all rent, it's $880 a month, and that includes utilities.
Okay.
They're really nice.
Anybody else? I think that's it, Mr.
All
Dean.
righty, thank you all.
Does anybody want to speak against this?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. My name is Bernie McClure, and I live in Decula, Georgia, and I own Wood Glen Apartments. I bought Wood Glen about 3.5 years ago, and it was pretty dilapidated at the time that I bought it. We've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on improving it, and I love Carrollton. We really tried to get involved. I appreciate your comment, Councilman, about the soup kitchen. We partner with them, and we do can drives. We do angel trees at Christmas. And those types of things we're able to do is because we have on-site central management. And when the apartment complex starts to grow in the number of units, there comes a point in time at which, when do you start to need to have somebody on site? And what amenities are really going to be appropriate? You know, the city council did the study, and what came out of the recommendations was to offer low-density or cluster development with high green space. When we take a look at the space that we're looking about here, you can see a lot of this land is just a strip of a buffer that's adding up to the total acreage. If you count the actual, look at the actual area where the apartments are going to go, your density is actually a lot higher than that. And as you also take a look at the site plan that came out of the zoning commission, you'll see about every square inch of this property is filled up with nothing but buildings, and there's only a playground area that's situated between the two houses right at the road. I don't know about y'all, but if I had a 5 or 6-year-old, I wouldn't want him playing in a playground right on Beulah Church Road. It's right on the front, and it's only because that's where you're in between two houses. Other than that, there's no amenities at all. With no central management, you get things like this. This is what the property looked like last week. The couch sitting out front. You talked about erosion. I don't know when the last time anyone has seen the storm drain, but this is what your storm drain looks like at this property. Why is that? That's because there's no one ever there to check on it. And I'll be glad to share these with y'all. Y'all can see it. That entire storm drain area is filled with nothing but charred trees, and all the parts where the water flows into the retaining pond, it's about up to your knees with pine straw. So and here's another one. This is completely filled up with pine straw. Y'all can take a look at it. Because there's no amenities, there's a trail that goes from Beulah Park through the woods over to Woodglen. Can't see it very well, but here's the trail. It's littered with bottles and other kinds of trash. And where it comes out is right at our pool. So we got a lot of people that would come through the woods and use our pool, because guess what? There aren't any amenities there. There's no pool. There's no tennis courts. So they come by, they hop the fence, and we've got video footage of people coming over through the woods and hopping the fence. I have no problem with building the apartments there and Mr. Dean being successful, but I would like to see a little bit more amenities so that people aren't going to come over and use our amenities. You know, there's enough area here where you could put a pool in or something rather than using every square inch. You're doing the very thing that you said you weren't going to do. You're using every square inch and filling it up with high density and no amenities. And if you think having a playground at the front of the road is your amenity package, you're kidding yourselves. That's just an area that's not usable, you can't build. If you could build an apartment there, you'd put another apartment building there. So that's what I'd have to offer you. I would support him adding more apartments, and I hope that he's very successful with that. But I don't like the idea of having 56 apartments with zero amenities and bordering a neighboring complex with a trail through the woods.
Thank you, sir.
That's it. Thank you. Any questions?
Anybody got any questions for him before we step down?
I do. Thank you. Not for you, but
Not
thank
for me?
you though,
Okay.
for that information. Could we ask Mr. Dean to come up and offer a rebuttal in reference to the on-site central management based on, and Erica, maybe you could share a little information with us as well as to how our current ordinances and building codes and standards relate to on-site central management reflected by the amount of, I guess you could take turns, based on the amount of units on a particular site, fencing for the playground if possible, storm drainage issues, all the things that he brought up, other amenities that you may offer.
We plan to put in a playground that would be suitable for the apartments that we have. As far as the on-site management, we have a lady who has the title of resident manager. She lived there for several years, and currently her mother and father lives there. She goes to the property every day, inspects the property every day, spends time there, and she is available to the tenants every day. She has a good relationship. She knows every tenant in there. And as far as the going back and forth the pool, I have never heard anyone ever complain anywhere down through the years about anyone going over there. The only thing I hate to say is, it's kind of funny, but the only thing I know about someone going back and forth is several years ago, we had someone that came over there and committed a crime on our property. This was before this gentleman owned it, I'm pretty sure. But they did, someone come back through, and the trail, our people didn't establish that or whatever. But anyway, we have families living in there. I hope y'all saw that place where they work. They all work in the area, basically. They all work in Carrollton. And industry in that area, they all got family. They're family people. And they're not the kind of people to be going into that other complex and getting in the pool. As far as the engineering, the environmentals, Mike might want to speak to that. We've already acknowledged that we will update them. They will have to be brought up to code and the new codes. That's part of the deal.
The storm systems, all per the original development, was for all the buildings. So it's all built to capacity for all. So the area is already graded with the 3 additional buildings are to be added. And it just simply needs to be, cut. It actually look a lot better. The curb's in, the storm's in, the detention pond is built for that development as shown there. It just wasn't completed at the time that it was originally started. So we're not really looking to do anything new, just simply complete what was originally planned.
So from what I read, you had kind of paraphrased everything that basically I believe that he brought up, except for amenities, saying that you were going to bring all these things up to code. So that much, I'm sated by that much.
Yeah.
So,
well, part of it may go out, well, as soon as it's approved for the special use, we'll go out and as-built all the infrastructure that's in, certify that it's built per the original plan and the current code, and resubmit drawings for all of that to bring it up, and also show the sidewalk that's been requested, and the playground will be shown on the updated plans.
That will include a landscaping plan to show where that erosion buffer is, or landscape buffer is and everything.
thank you both. Thank you.
We don't have a requirement for on-site central management. And so in other words, they don't necessarily have to live on the site. We have many apartment complexes and multifamily complexes that have off-site management that they're very well managed. So we don't have that requirement currently. They have to actually live on site.
Okay. What about fencing around the playground? He talked about how close it might be to the. Do we have requirements that state there has to be fencing around a playground that's near a street?
I don't believe so. I think there's a requirement about pools, but I don't
Okay.
believe there's a
Not
requirement
playground.
about fencing with playgrounds.
But out of goodwill, where'd they go? Oh, there you go. Out of goodwill, could you? What are your plans? Not even out of goodwill, but what are your plans for the playground?
What I plan to do with Mike is to look over the entire property and see what, if there's a more suitable location than on the road, which I agree with the gentleman, and if that's your opinion, that, and if we do wind up putting the playground up there, I think we would put a fence around the playground and, between there and the road and everything. So that's a good idea. As far as they may be another place, if there's another place on the property that would be more suitable for it, we will look at that.
Okay.
And they will submit that with the.
I'm trying to remember what your current fencing looks like. I think it's white bricked on the bottom and then black wrought iron. Is that what it looks like at the top?
No, it's wooden.
Oh, it's wooden. Okay, all right. I can't remember that.
No, wait a minute. There may be some like that somewhere.
Yeah,
in
I
there.
thought I saw that.
But yeah, it's basically wooden fence.
Okay.
But I would like to say one other thing about the gentleman that owns Wood Glen. They look great. You're doing a good job. Yeah. His property, looks good.
Right.
Very good. So, okay, any more questions?
I have a point of information, maybe the mayor or the city attorney can clarify. When you have a special use permit, whatever is approved today is the plan. The applicant can't say, I'm thinking about putting a fence around it, or I'm thinking about moving the playground to another location. Is that correct?
It's not, right now, there's no condition for the location of the playground. There's no condition for the fence. So it's not binding unless y'all add that as a condition. With a special use permit, what he's requesting is simply to increase the density from 6 units to 9 units, and then the site plan is not binding unless you make it binding, but the conditions are.
But what I'm saying about the playground and the fence is we want Mike and the engineers to look it over and do the best thing for the project and for the city. The city would certainly have to approve it at that time. Or, we're going to submit an updated site plan. Is that right, Mike? Well, that's already in the deal. Yeah.
And I want to clarify on the playground, just because we've been burned by this before. I've had people promise a playground, and what they do is buy a swing set from Walmart. So
Yeah.
your equipment's going to have to meet
Yep.
rec department standards. So just know that when you go into this, it needs to be something that's going to hold up. And again, that would be our rec department standards.
So maybe somewhere we need to adopt, I guess, a playground policy. Would you say, council?
Or an amenity policy?
Absolutely. I think we need to get the staff to work on an amenity policy. And Tim, I know one particular subdivision that did that to us. And Peter, you know what I'm talking about too. It's really bad. I mean, really bad.
I did want to clarify, we do address playgrounds in our design standards for multifamily developments, and they actually state in the design standards that they have to meet the standards and specifications of city-owned playgrounds. And they have to actually be approved by the Parks and Recreation Commission. So there'll be another body that reviews the plan for the playground after this request is approved, per our ordinance.
That's awesome.
I've got one more question. The long-term maintenance agreement that we have for multifamily properties, is this property, the old property that's already developed and the new property that is planning on getting developed, are either of those underneath that long-term maintenance agreement?
Are you talking about the long-term maintenance requirement?
Yeah.
Where
with
they're
the city.
subject to periodic inspections and,
Yep.
and that sort of thing. I don't know that we've done any inspections of this particular development. This development's actually maintained quite well. I'm not aware of even any codes complaints and that type of thing at this particular development. Those are based off of a complaint basis right now, right currently. So we don't have periodic inspections unless there's a complaint. We need to go out and inspect.
We do have that in our UDO.
Yes, it is. It's in the ordinance.
And is this property a piece of that?
That's probably a question for Chuck. They're adding 24 units. They've got 30. How many units do you have currently? 32 currently. So that's one that he'd probably need to weigh in on.
Yeah, and I don't recall, I need to look at the ordinance and see. I don't recall that the long-term maintenance obligations are tied to a particular number of units. So if that's the case, then it would be subject to it.
Okay. So buildings or developments that were put into place before the long-term maintenance agreement were put in place, are they within that or not?
Well, in this case, you've got an existing development, but now a request to come in and add additional units and get the special use permit. So I think the development probably would be subject to the long-term maintenance obligations.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Looks like our planning commission voted 7 yays. Eric, is that right?
It was 7 to what? What was the score?
I think it was 7-0.
Oh, 7-0. Okay.
For approval.
Okay.
And here again, gentlemen, I need to recuse myself from here. Mr. Dean has been a customer of my mother's business for a number of years, and I need to recuse myself from this one also.
Okay, we're ready.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve the special use permit for 125 and 157 Beulah Church Road with the following conditions from the staff recommendation in our packet, and a 6-foot sidewalk along the road frontage of both properties, and a fence around the playground. That's it.
Second.
You have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Please raise your hand. All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, public hearing. Mr. Jim.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you all know, tonight represents the third public hearing of three required in relation to the adoption of the 2018 millage rate. Our first two public hearings were conducted on August 27, 2018 at 11:30 a.m. and 6 p.m. respectively. On page 71 of your packet, you will see the analysis of the revenue produced between the calculated rollback rate of 4.496 mils, that's based on inflationary growth in our tax digest, and the recommended rate that we're recommending you tonight of 4.60 mils, that is our current millage rate. The revenue that would be produced on the current digest at our current rate of 4.60 mils is $3,833,549. And the revenue that would be produced at the rollback rate of 4.496 mils would be $3,746,877. That's a difference of $86,672. If I could at this time ask you to turn one page over to page 72 in your packet, looking at the 5-year advertisement that we placed in the Times-Georgian on August the 16th, a couple of numbers that I want to emphasize to you. The gross digest, the fourth line down, $920 million. That is an increase of $22.6 million over the prior year, and that's 2.5% increase. But if you will look directly down one line, the exemptions, $87.3 million. The exemptions increased by $18.3 million from last year. That was a 27% increase in exemptions. And so the net digest increased, after you take into account the exemptions, the net digest increased by only $4.3 million, of 0.52%. Point that I need to...
Jim, can I just stop you real quick?
Yes, sir.
In layman's terms, can you just explain what less M&O exemptions mean in case someone don't know what an exemption is, or M&O?
That is everything from homestead exemption to business inventory tax exemption, disabled veterans exemption, any exemption that people get to deduct from their assessed value that they pay their taxes on. So we get that information from the tax assessor's office basically at the end of July of each year. And so we have a very short window of time that we have to react to that information, to plan. And you know, it's just the way the cycle goes. But anyway, I wanted to bring that to your attention. And in having the public hearing tonight, I do want to emphasize, as we've talked about at our planning retreat for the last couple of years, we not only have the lowest millage rate here in this area, but we have one of the lowest millage rates in northwest Georgia. We have not recorded a millage rate increase in the city since 1993. We even held our millage rate steady and did not increase during the recession. As we know, hit this area very hard. And so anyway, I just wanted to make those general observations, and I'll turn it back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Is there anyone here that'd like to address the council on this? Please come up and state your name and where you live, please, sir.
Not at all. It's my fault. I'm John Ragland. I live at 101 Turning Leaf Court in Carrollton. I'm a newbie in town. We moved here in March 16. And we were trying to decide between Carrollton and Birmingham. We have a daughter that lives up in Birmingham, and I've retired, and we thought it'd be nice to be over there. But we went over to Shelby County. Lo and behold, we felt like we're moving back to Atlanta, Georgia. I said, man, I don't want to move here. And Carrollton looked better, even though it would be closer to family. Excuse me. That happened to me one time when I was preaching on Easter Sunday. Turned out to be my contractor. But anyway, back to the subject. Carrollton's a beautiful place. People are wonderfully friendly. Love our subdivision we live in, which is Tanglewood, which is part of the Mill Pond subdivision there. Lovely homes, lovely neighbors, very friendly. I've made more friends in the neighborhood in a week than I had made in the neighborhood I lived in Cedartown, Georgia, living there for almost 8 years. So that's really great. Here's my concern, and I had a good discussion online with Mr. Waters about philosophy of taxation and millage rates and all that kind of stuff, which is kind of obscure when you start trying to figure out taxes and that sort of thing. So I'm speaking somewhat out of ignorance into your large pool of knowledge. But the thing that caught my eye was if there's a full rollback, that's going to cost $86,000. If you leave it where it is, you're essentially increasing about 2.31%, according to that thing up there that represents a 2.31% increase. So that's what it says up there, increase over the calculated rollback of 4.496 mils. So I would be comfortable with a millage rate that enabled you to make up the $86,000. The difference there. So that essentially you're still meeting your budget. I guess I'm not really comfortable with a millage rate that is just fixed and you let the value of the property float up and down. And so that when the property values are rising, it's very easy to just let things just ride and you have tax increases in kind of a backdoor way. And I appreciate from what I understand from Councilman Waters, the careful discipline that the council exercised during the Great Recession. Y'all didn't increase the millage rate, while I'm sure you were really being hit on property taxes with foreclosures and that sort of thing that were going on in the city. That's commendable to you all and much appreciated for future. But that's my desire. It seems more equitable to say we're going to roll it back so we're not losing money if we were to do a full rollback. Am I making myself clear on that? All right, the other question, other thing I would observe is if you feel like your conviction is, let's leave it where it is. Let's not play around with that millage rate. Then why not take the increase that you would have by leaving it there, the increase that you would have over income to meet the budget that was adopted, and say, let's establish a Joseph fund. Remember Joseph? Had those years where they had the fat cows, and then they had the years where they had the lean cows. And Joseph said, man, we got to save up for the lean cows. Why not have, maybe you already do this, I'm ignorant, I'm a new kid, put that difference into a fund and it's invested and then that's growing over there. Unlike the federal government, we locked up, you wouldn't be able to go rate it. It's sitting over there dedicated for that purpose. And then when the downtime comes, and it will come because that's the nature of our economy, ups and downs, then you've got something to lean back on, draw upon, to help you when the belt tightening comes so that the rest of the citizens who are having to tighten their belt because they can't go out and just raise money. It would help them. So that's my desire. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming before the council. I will tell you that the rollback law in Georgia is one of the most misunderstood things. If First, I want to say if you pay $2,000 tax a year, the city of Carrollton gets about $300 of that. Okay, we get about 15%. So if we roll back, it doesn't affect that other 85%. It only affects that 15%. The other thing is if, let's say your taxes went up due to reassessment $100. If we were to roll back, you don't get that $100. That $100 is spread out amongst all 26,000 citizens. So the rollback costs the city money, but it doesn't help you. It would help you only pennies. And then the state calculates these numbers, and I get them from Mr. Triplett, who does a very good job, but they don't make any sense even to me. The increase by holding the millage the same is $19,000 on a $54 million budget. And if we roll back, our loss is $86,000, and that makes no sense to anybody in the room, but that's just the fact. So, and as far as a Joseph fund, we have $23 million in our Joseph fund, so we're going to add $19,000 more, and it's almost, I don't want to call it minutia because every dime matters, and I literally look at every expense myself. So it does matter, and it's important, and it's a lot of money, but on a percentage standpoint, it's not a lot of money. We have to advertise, unless we roll it all back, we have to advertise it like it's a tax increase. The wording is specific, and we have to say that we are doing a tax increase, and that's frustrating to me. A lot of municipalities who need money more than we do are intimidated by that language, and they roll back, and they're, as Jim has put, they're digging themselves a hole. And so we watch every dollar. We manage our money well. We have the lowest millage rate in the area. We have the lowest water and sewer rates in the area. We have the lowest sanitation rates in the area, and we make money on that sanitation. Nobody makes money on garbage, but we do because of, where's Mike Green? Because he works people, he cracks a whip. And so I'm very proud of how we handle things financially. I appreciate what you say, and I appreciate the opportunity to explain that. I hope it was clearer than mud because it's a very confusing law.
I will come back for a tutorial. I've heard what you're saying, and I think it's sometimes like when I'm preaching, people say, I heard what you said, I don't understand the thing.
Mm-hmm. I got a question. What church are you from? What church? Oh.
I was pastor of Grace Presbyterian Church in Cedartown, Georgia.
Oh.
I've retired in Presbyterian Church in America, currently attending King's Chapel Presbyterian here in Carrollton.
Well, then you know this tax was meant to be, and it was going to happen anyway if you're a good Presbyterian, right?
Well, the
I'm
outcome,
a good Calvinist myself, so it was already.
Amen, brother. Well, I tell you, the outcome will definitely be decreed from above. So.
Oh, whoa. Jeez.
I do want to say that the city manager does watch almost every dollar. I took him and his staff to task about 3 weeks ago and had them go through the budget with me, almost line item, over the increases that have occurred under his leadership and the prior leadership. So he does watch the budget along with Jim Triplett. So I just want everybody to be aware of that. I'm impressed with their management of our city budget and our city revenues.
Is there anyone else who'd like to address the council on the tax situation? So does that mean we're closing the hearing, right? So we have met our obligation on the 3 hearings.
Yes, sir. We have met our obligation on the 3 hearings. The 5-year history's been duly advertised in the Times-Georgian, the city website, and I think we're ready to go forward with the next agenda item regarding this.
Approval of 2018 millage rate. Anybody got any questions for Jim? Like to make a motion we adopt the millage rate 2018. Motion and second. Any more discussion? All in favor of approving the millage rate, please raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Jim. 10, vehicle purchase, fire department.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The fire department currently has its staff cars a Chevy Tahoe as a chief's car, a Chevy Tahoe as the captain's, or I guess it would be battalion commander's vehicle, and an old 2009 Crown Vic with 165,000 miles on it. This actually says 1.65 million, but I think it's 165,000 is what they meant. But they do push their equipment a long way. They would like, and it's in the budget, to purchase a new Crown Vic and retire, a new Tahoe and retire that Crown Vic. We would then rotate the old captain's car into that slot, and that would give them a new vehicle. The old captain's car has 96,000 miles. What we find is we really need to buy these public safety vehicles off state contract. It has amenities that you don't find when you try to price them local, and you've seen us do the same thing with police cars. So this is from Hardy Chevrolet. I think Hardy sells everything. And the total purchase price is $37,404, and again, that is in your budget. And multiple pricing is not required since it's off the state contract.
And we're mandated to purchase from this particular place. Well, that's what I read, right? We're not?
You are not mandated
thought I
to.
read
It's just
that.
we found that to be the best practice on public safety equipment.
Okay.
The state literally bids out thousands and thousands of items, and this is one of those items, or these types of vehicles.
And I have a question about that. Since we're purchasing out of city, when we service those cars, are they serviced in the city? So we're giving something to the local dealers? Can they we do service in the city? Okay, that's good.
And most of the routine service is done at Mike's shop. He's got a mechanic that is specifically trained in fire protection equipment, fire trucks. He does a great job, saves us a lot of money.
Awesome.
Any more questions? I'd like to make a motion, we approve the purchase.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Tim, board appointment, Carrollton Parks and Rec.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And Mr. Meyerhofer's here if you have questions on this particular issue. There are 2 open slots on the Parks and Rec board. There are 4 names that have expressed an interest, and you see those before you. You can nominate 2. You can postpone it a month if you want to think further, or if you have people other than the 4 listed. We just look to see whatever the pleasure of the council.
Anybody got any comments?
I know 2 of them. I know Mr. Chris Bonner. He is a local pastor. Miss Tanita Cox Teagle is based out of the Burson Center, the business incubator here in town, and she's a certified counselor. I think both of those individuals will bring a unique perspective to the board, the commission. And I would like to say that was a motion.
You making a motion, Gerald?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
I have a motion and a second. You just need to vote on the motion in a second. All in favor, please raise your hand on Mr. Bonner or Ms. Teagle. All opposed? It's a push. I guess we're going to table this till next meeting.
If If it's the same names, we might have the same results. I'm not changing my mind.
I understand.
Yes, sir.
Maybe we'll have a third person here.
Oh, yeah, we will.
Motion to table. All in favor of tabling until October, please raise your hand.
It's going to be a long meeting.
Gonna be a long night.
Yep. Approve one of them.
I'll vote in favor of that motion that was just there.
For the table? Gonna change your motion, vote. Okay. So, we got 3 to table till October. Is that correct? So this motion is tabled till October. Is there anything else to come before this council before I hit this little piece of wood?
And I just found out via text message, it is Joel Richards' 26th anniversary as a city employee.
Wow.
Well, on that note, can I have a motion that we adjourn?